Hey MVPs, Ricoknows here. I'm going to talk to you guys about the talent chart. You guys know I'm working on it 24/7, and I just finished up all the quarterbacks, and I wanted to do a podcast or at least an episode and a video about the quarterbacks while it's fresh in my mind. Now, I don't have any notes, and usually what I do is I do all these rankings, and then I sit down, I do one final scrub, and then I start making videos. We're running out of time. You guys want the videos made. I want to make them for you, but I can't speak on anything win-loss total-wise unless I've completed every single team, because they're going to have some of those teams on the schedule, and I need to know whether or not they're going to beat them. So instead, what I'm going to do is I'm going to educate the MVPs. So this video is for MVPs only, and I'm going to talk to you guys about every single quarterback room. And then when I finish the running backs, I'll do another episode like this and talk about every single running back room. And we'll just keep going like that so you guys become more informed on every single position group. These will be MVP-only videos, and I'll do it all the way across the board, as you guys can see here. That means there will be a quarterback, running back, wide receiver, tight end, offensive line, defensive tackle, defensive end. You'll get an episode on every single one of them. And then we'll go out, and instead of doing futures picks for every single team in America, which is what I did last year, I did it for like 70 teams. What we'll do is I'll go look at the Vegas over-unders, and I'll try to find the value and the ones I think they got blatantly wrong. Okay? Right now, I'm on a bandwagon of Virginia, because I love their transfer portal class and I love what they're building. Tony Elliott's third year. Like, it's just something about Virginia that I'm buying in on. Now, I need to double check their schedule and double check their opponents. But I've said that multiple times now, and I need to double check what Vegas thinks of them, right? So, but let's talk about these teams individually. And what this really comes down to, guys, if you're watching this video, please put it on 1.5 playback speed. Please, okay? Second thing I'm going to say is, when you're watching this, I'm here to educate you. You should already be doing your own research. So maybe we come to the same conclusion, then you can bet it that way, okay? But I'm not going to give you betting advice or anything like that. I'm just going to be talking about the players and hopefully how they fit in their new system or what they're doing. If I don't go in depth, I either didn't find anything too remarkable when I looked at the team, or I just need more time, okay? So let's go at it. First team. And yes, I'm going to talk about 134 teams, so that's why I said let's go. By the way, if you're watching this on the Discord server, shout out to you MVPs. You can put a question in. I'll get to them at the end, or I'll try to see them when you guys are asking them, I should say. Let me do that. And I'll try to see it if it's over here. If you're on TikTok watching this on TikTok Live, I'm not reading the chat. I don't have time for that. So let's go. MVP, shout out to you guys. First team, Air Force. So Air Force, if you didn't hear, there's like 1,000 people at Air Force that got caught cheating. Multiple football players, probably 40 of them. Their quarterback was supposed to be returning from last year. He's not even on the roster. So the only quarterback they have is Josh Johnson. And right now, they said they internally punished all these kids. But what it is they were cheating. They were circumventing tests and doing something like that. I'm sorry about that. So I don't know what Air Force is going to be next year. What you want to know about Air Force, and sorry if you're watching me on Discord server, you can't see me in the top right corner because that's only visible on the video, so you can go back and watch it later. Nonetheless, if you want to know how Air Force is going to do, they are notorious for not putting out accurate depth charts. They're notorious for not giving us up-to-date stuff. So I'm still trying to evaluate them. What I can tell you in my evaluation on them and doing the best I can, it's just impossible to know how good the service academies are preseason. They just don't tell you. And a guy like Jack Curtis being a backup is absurd. Now, Our Lads, I'm using Our Lads as a website. They're doing their best to list out all the players. It's not accurate. It's doing the best it can, though. It's probably a good one-stop shop for depth charts in college football teams, but it's not accurate. So I'm giving Air Force a 1 because Josh Johnson did play a little bit last year. He can't throw to save his life. That isn't really relevant in Air Force's offense. He can run, but he's a liability throwing. And I think if you're going into the season with Josh Johnson, that's bad news. Now, this is a team that won 4 games at the end of the season. They won the last 4 games in a row, so they were kind of getting that momentum going. It had nothing to do with Josh Johnson. It didn't. So I'm not buying it, and I have to leave it as a 1 on the quarterback spot, okay? Oh, by the way, the columns, they're all weighted differently. So getting a 1 in quarterback is terrible for your final percentage. The highest score you can have is 100%. So their offense, I've already rated out the entire Air Force offense, and it's at 33%. It's not good, right? It could be good in the Mountain West. We're going to find out. Nonetheless, next team, Akron. Akron's returning their starting quarterback from last year. Hopefully this loads up fast enough and we're not waiting too much time. There we go. So it's fine. Ben Finley's coming back. Ben Finley, former North Carolina State transfer, former Cal transfer. Ben Finley's the guy. And it's fine. Every now and then, you guys know his brother Ryan. At least you should. He used to play, I think, in the NFL. Definitely played in college. But Ben Finley's not a very good quarterback. He makes silly mistakes, and he doesn't throw that well. What I will say is his wide receivers are pretty damn good. Alex Adams, former LSU guy, like, he's got players. He's got wide receivers. Now, the coaching staff, Joe Moorhead, has notoriously underwhelmed me. I won't get into everybody else. We'll talk about the other position groups. But when I look at Ben Finley, going into your senior year, you've been a starter for a couple years. Maybe you turn that corner. You play in the MAC, where it should be easy to throw. But I give Ben Finley a 4. So you guys understand the grading scale here. I'm going to break it down for you. Okay, 10 is you're like one of the top quarterbacks in America. You're a draft pick. 9, you're one of the better quarterbacks in America. You're a draft pick. 8 is you're a power 4 guy. You're starting and you're dependable, and we know you can go out and win games. 7, you're a journeyman in the power 4. Okay, journeyman in the power 4 is still better than an all-conference guy in the group of 5. I'm serious. So a 6, think of a 6 as like an all-conference guy in the group of 5. That means if you're dominating in the Sun Belt, you're probably a 6. Now, if you're elite in the group of 5, I'm talking elite, you're a 7. You won't be an 8, or 9, or a 10 from the group of 5. You just won't. Very rare. I can't even think of any quarterbacks that I feel that way about. Okay? 5, now we're talking about a quality group of 5 starter. 4, a journeyman starter. 3, 2, and 1. My God. 3s are usually guys who haven't started but have dual threat potential, meaning they can run and extend plays, and that's a little scary sometimes. 2 and 1s, trash. Okay? Just so you're aware. So now we get to Alabama at 7. I'm on the fence with Alabama. I want to push them to 8. I do. It's going to be Ty Simpson, Austin Mack, Keelan Russell, whoever it is. These are all former 5-star guys, but nobody's ever started a game. But what you need to do is go and study Kalen DeBoer and his quarterbacks who have never started a game. Because it doesn't matter who they are. Whoever he's leading as a quarterback, they go out there and they play ball. And by the way, he's got some of the best wide receivers in America. They're a 10, right? They're the best, one of the best wide receiver rooms in the world. I believe in that offensive line. I'm telling you, Alabama's got pieces. If their quarterback can keep it together, they're going to have an amazing offense. So right now it's a 7. This year, what we're going to do different with this talent chart is, yes, I'm going to use it for preseason futures bets and all that stuff. But this year, we're going to make this a working document every single week, and we're going to adjust some numbers as we go, and we're going to give people new ratings just so we can get a more accurate prediction. If you don't remember, last year, the talent chart was right. I don't know what it was. It was well over 60-something% of the time in coin flip games. I got to go back and look at the chats. It doesn't matter. App State. So App State loses their starting quarterback. Excuse me, give me a second here. He goes and transfers to UCLA, transfers to Tennessee, and so now who do we got next? Well, we got A.J. Swan. Is A.J. Swan any good? I don't think so, but he's the starting quarterback. I think J.J. Cole's interesting. Billy Wiles is here as well, so let me go through this whole quarterback room. A.J. Swan, former transfer from Vanderbilt, went to LSU. I told you it was a terrible transfer to LSU. Sat the bench, and now he's here. Apparently he wants to play football, and he wants to start. But who is he and what is he? I couldn't tell you. J.J. Cole, former JUCO guy, went to Iowa State, sat the bench there. Got beat out by Rocco Becht. It happens, right? And he was there just to back up Hunter Deckers anyways. So when I look at J.J. Cole, he's 6'7" in a statue, doesn't run well. Billy Wiles, former Southern Miss quarterback, and he was a starter over there. And former, what was he, Clemson? Yeah, I think he was a Clemson walk-on initially. So he's coming back closer to home. This quarterback room is not terrible, but it's not an improvement from last year. It didn't get any better. It didn't. And they got a new coach. Dow Loggins over here. Loggins, I believe, is the former Davidson head coach. No, I'm thinking the wrong team. Where's Loggins from? Oh, South Carolina. Former South Carolina offensive coordinator. So he likes a dual threat. He doesn't have any of the weapons that he's used to coaching. I don't know what it is. Maybe I'm getting it wrong. I have no notes in front of me, guys. We're just talking. But I know the players. Okay, and when I'm talking about A.J. Swan and J.J. Cole, these guys underwhelm me completely. Now, like I said, I'm giving them a 3 because they're kind of all group of 5 journeymen or caliber players. They really are. It's not sensational. It's not like, we just got a guy coming down from the Power 4 and he's going to dominate the conference. I don't believe that. No, I don't. Not at all. Arizona, it's Noah Fafita. There's really nothing to talk about there. I'm knocking him down. I gave him an 8 last year. I'm going down to 7, and it's not his fault. He loses T-Mac. His coach sucks, and Noah Fafita's a problem. Now, he's not terrible. He's just not elite. So I'm giving him a 7, and we're leaving it at that, okay? Arizona State, you guys already know. They had an amazing year last year, and Sam Levitt is a huge reason why, or a huge part of the reason why. One thing I'll say is this team, when we watch them moving the chains, it was always Cam Scatterbo, always the run game. But throwing to Jordan Tyson deep, as long as Jordan Tyson is healthy, it's a good thing to have. I think Sam Levitt, if you really watch the way he plays, he's a baller. He's a gamer. He's tough. He's athletic. He's sneaky athletic. He's a dual threat kind of guy. I just like the dog in him to transfer out of Michigan State, show up, and yeah, I know you got a bunch of dudes. I'm going to beat them all out, and he does. Now, they also have a quality backup in Jeff Sims. Been playing football for a very long time. I don't think he's good, but it's a good quarterback room, man. And I wanted to give it an 8, and instead I gave it a 9 because I believe in Sam Levitt like that. And I'll also say this. I believe in Kenny Dillingham getting the most out of his players. I remember last year you guys asked me, Rico, can we get another column for coaches and apply that metric to it and all this stuff? And I think what I'm doing now is just taking into consideration their wide receiver group, their offensive scheme, their tendencies, and I'm giving them an extra point. So I'm giving Sam Levitt an extra point because I believe in him as a leader and a player, but also his coaching staff and his wide receiver room. Pretty good players. Wide receiver, if you guys don't know, Malik McCollum. Oh, well, we'll talk about wide receivers on the wide receiver podcast. Don't let me get carried away. All right. Arkansas quarterback. Now, people, this is one of those, like, what am I going to say? Not dark horse, but one of those underrated quarterbacks that when you watch tape on Taylor Green, he's just so big. He covers so much ground. Taylor Green's a real dual threat quarterback. Reminds me of Vince Young almost, right? He's a former Boise State quarterback. He's a Texas kid, transferred in. I like Taylor Green a lot. And for him to transfer in and push other quarterbacks, they just say, hey, you need to bounce. And they had a kid transfer up to Purdue who I think, Malachi Singleton, I think very highly of. And they're like, nah, Taylor Green's our guy. I like it a lot. Taylor Green's the guy. Keeping the ball in his hands. They have to rebuild everything else. But there you go. I don't believe in this coaching staff at all. So Taylor Green gets an 8 because individually he's a great player. Speaking of great players individually, Arkansas State, Jalen Raynor, I've been on him for a while. Pause. Not really on top of him, but you know what I mean. I believe in him completely. And Jalen Raynor is one of these kids who got better last year. He's getting better every year. And if he stays group of 5, I'd be utterly shocked if he doesn't transfer up and get paid some real money. I'm assuming Arkansas State's taking care of him. But remember, that means he's a 6 because he's an all-conference group of 5 player. He's not one of the best in the world. He's good for where he's at. Army, my God. Once again, Army, they don't have Daly anymore. Their kid who could move the chain, 6'4", 220 or whatever. They got Dwayne Coleman. And unfortunately for Dwayne Coleman, we've seen him play football before. Dwayne Coleman is not him. He's just not. We watched him play, and he couldn't move the ball. I'm telling you that Dwayne Coleman isn't him, and I'm convinced he's not. They also lost Kanye Udoh. They still have Noah Short. That's the only guy that they have that can go and stretch the field with his legs and things like that. Everybody else is just kind of like, what? I'm more interested in this Kale dude. I went and looked up as much as I could on the spring game and all the players, and I'm more interested in this Kale Helms dude. But the service academies are notorious for playing senior Latin players above the underclassmen, if you will. So Dwayne Coleman doesn't move me. I went ahead and gave him a 2. He can't throw at all. He can run. Auburn, you guys know the deal. I'm very high on Jackson Arnold. I respect Ashton Daniels coming over from Stanford. I respect this Deuce Knight kid. But in the grand scheme of things, when I have to really assess talent for what it is, Jackson Arnold's going to have to show out this year and prove it to me. I like a lot of their transfers. I like a lot of their players. I like Jackson Arnold. Don't get it twisted. He's not an 8, 9, or 10 right now. So I put him at 7. If you think highly of him and you think he's better, then you probably think highly of Auburn. And it might be fandom as opposed to the results. It is what it is. Okay, Ball State, their former starting quarterback, Caden Samanza, he's now at Tulane, going to start there. He's pretty great. So let's talk about Khalil Kelly here. Khalil Kelly is now the starter. This guy started back in 2023, and he was not good. Now, he dominated the spring game. He's a dual threat kid. He actually moved to wide receiver last year, maybe defensive back at one point. He might have been a defensive back. And then now he's back to quarterback. So he's just been kind of moved around. Dude can't throw, but man, can he run. Okay, man, can he run. And then they got Walter Taylor coming in the transfer portal. Walter Taylor, I believe he's a transfer from Colorado and Kentucky. Am I thinking of the right kid? Yeah, Colorado Vanderbilt, not Kentucky. Yeah, he's huge. 6'5". I thought he was 6'7". I'm not even joking. Walter Taylor can't play football. Congratulations. You're the backup quarterback at Ball State. Some of the things you need to be excited about, and we'll get into them later on in the shows. The running back room, this Ashley kid, he was a beast for Kennesaw. I really like it. And Eric Weatherly is going to be a household name for you MVPs during the week. Eric Weatherly, wide receiver, always open, going to be a problem. And guess what? All these other dudes are the starters. They've been around for years, multiple year starters for Ball State, and I'm talking about a guy that's never been a multiple year starter for them. Yeah, I'm talking about Eric Weatherly. I'm letting you know. That's Wide Receiver Podcast another day. All right, go to Baylor. Baylor, you get a 9, bro. I believe Baylor's going to win the Big 12. I haven't assessed all the teams, and I just started seeing all these guys on the internet talking about Utah. Like it's the new thing to do. They talk about Utah. I got a DM on Twitter about Utah. And I was like, why am I getting DMs about Utah? Oh, one of these talking heads from, I don't know, one of these fucking podcasts is like, oh, Utah's going to win 12 games. Utah's going to do this. Utah's going to do that. And I'm sitting there going, it's the Big 12, right? Yeah, this is the best team in the Big 12. Sawyer Robertson, giving him a 9. Absolute monster. By the way, they have the best running back in the Big 12, and they have a dominant wide receiver room. You better ask somebody about Josh Cameron. I'm serious. I don't know if Ashton Hawkins not eligible to play, so this shouldn't be up here. Cole Wilson, stud from UIW. I'm going to get into all that later, but Sawyer Robinson is him. Walker White looked great when he transferred out of Auburn. He looked great at the Auburn spring game, so I like him a lot. I don't know much about Nate Bennett, but Sawyer Robertson, it's my dude, man. He's athletic. He came out and balled last year, carried this team to victories they should have never had. Bees knees. Bees motherfucking knees right here. Okay? One of the best players on your team is touching the ball every single play. I like Baylor a lot. Let's go look at Boise State. Oh, Boise State returning their starter, Maddox. He played great. If you go back and look at the stats and stuff, now, he played great because he's getting a lot of single coverage. Now, you got a 5-star wide receiver in Chris Marshall, a returning white boy and Bolt. You got a good receiver core. Chase Penry, transfer from Colorado, white kid again. I know. I love saying white wide receivers, but it doesn't matter. Maddox can ball, and this running back room is not to be played with. Let me say something to you guys. When Jambry Dubar, Breezy Dubar, I know him as Breezy. Breezy Dubar is your third string running back, we got a problem. If Breezy Dubar is your third string running back, you're a monster-ass team. You've been warned. Boise State's going to be great. Oh, by the way, this guy right here, Jaden Morgan, best defensive end I've seen on tape in the group of 5. Best defensive end. Look at that. I gave him an 8. Remember what I just told you? Group of 5. If you're great in the group of 5, I give you a 6. Maybe a 7. I gave him an 8. I think he's one of the best defensive ends I've seen on tape. I'm talking NFL draft pick. It's going to be a problem. Shout out to Boise State. Okay. Next quarterback, Boston College. Oh, who is it? Grayson James? Oh, man. This is bad. Grayson James, your starting quarterback. He played okay coming in because he can actually throw versus Castellanos, who can't throw at all. But Grayson James is not a good quarterback, man. He's just not. I've watched him lose his starting job at FIU. I know all about the Duncanville kid. Look, guys, I know the history of these players. Dylan Lonergan, not good. And I knew he wasn't good. He played at Brookwood here in Georgia. Very boring. Another baseball player, football player guy. Very boring, very substandard. And I told him, man, this guy's mid as fuck. He got a bunch of FBS wide receivers in there, and they're not winning anything. They would be on TV every week on GPB Sports. I'd be watching them on a Friday. I'd be like, this kid is a Division I quarterback? I don't think he's any good. Goes to Alabama, has a good spring. Everybody starts, oh, Rico, how good is Dylan Lonergan? Is he the future? And I'm like, no. His future is in the transfer portal. That kid can't play at Alabama. And here we are. And he's the backup. This is a terrible quarterback room for Boston College. Terrible. Now, I want to give a lot of credit to Boston College quarterback Bill O'Brien. He gets the most out of these players, and they got some wide. This is one of the best wide receiver rooms nobody talks about. Jaden Skeet was my hidden gem last year. Injuries got the best of him, but he's a beast. Lewis Bond, beast. This is a problem, y'all, at the X and the F wide receiver positions. I'm telling you, Boston College got some receivers. They just don't have any quarterbacks to throw them the ball. I don't know what we're going to do about that. That's not my problem, all right? Let's keep going. Bowling Green. Bowling Green losing what's-his-face. He started there for a couple years. He's in the NFL now. I'm forgetting his name. He's a fringe NFL kid. Beaslak. Cole Beaslak. Anyways, they got Drew Pine coming in. Transfer. Former Notre Dame kid? Former Missouri kid, former Arizona State kid. I don't know who the hell Drew Pine. I think he's a former lacrosse player. Is that the kid too? I don't know what Drew Pine's doing. He think he came out of retirement to come be their quarterback. That's fine. He might be a gift for them. They haven't seen anybody this good in a while. Their wide receiver room's a little senior lad. And I want to say something about Bowling Green's offense. I think it takes a huge step back this year from last year. From a great running back room and having Harold Fannin and some other receivers that I believe. I think they take a step back this year. Big time. Now, the offensive line looks senior Latin as frick, which will hold it together. But I don't know. I'm just not in it. I'm not on them like that. And I'm going to keep assessing them. But you see how this Collins Archipong guy shouldn't be in your starting lineup at all. Collins shouldn't even be there. This is former Miami UCLA kid. I don't think he's a football player. I'm being real. Gideon Lamprone's amazing. Dorian Pringle's going to be a starter. You heard me. They got him third string here on. Dorian Pringle's going to be a starter. He's too good to be at Bowling Green. That was a recruiting miss. They missed. The Power 4 teams missed and didn't get the right kid. Like, they ignored this kid. He's amazing. Trust. I know there's two seniors ahead of him on the depth chart. Rico, you know what you're talking about. Okay. Remember what I said. Remember the Titans. All right? So, Bowling Green. Quarterback room. I don't know how I feel about it. What did I give him? A 4. Drew Pine, a 4. Okay. Go to Buffalo. Buffalo. I spent a lot of time on Buffalo. I want to say something about them. I like them. I like the team. I like Buffalo as a team. When you got receivers like Victor Snow coming back, all conference wide receiver, little badass dude in the slot, you can bet the over on him. He's getting 40 yards every week, okay? But let's go look at their quarterback position here. Quarterback position leaves a lot to be desired. Taquan Roberson, been in college forever, former Penn State, UConn, Kansas State, and now here. Now, injuries have derailed him. He's a dual-threat guy. He's no different from last year when they had CJ Ogbonna or whatever. Same kind of deal. Pretty slick, can extend plays. The guy they're excited about is this Jason Wright kid, and rightfully so. There's a kid I saw on tape, and I'll talk about it when I get to the running back room, but this running back room is loaded right now. Loaded, and I still think there's a freshman that can break into the two deep there at running back, okay? BYU. Retzlaff apparently is out sexually assaulting women, so we don't know what he's going to do. But I can tell you this, it doesn't matter. I like McKay Hillstead more than Retzlaff. And one quarterback they don't have up here is the Bachmeier kid. Tiger? No. Bear Bachmeier. He's a beast. He's a huge kid. He's like 6'2", 225, and he can run. I say huge. You're like, really? That's not too big? No, it's big when he's running. He's a train. He's hard to stop. Dies running through people. But this McKay kid, McKay Hillstead, he's a smaller kid. Used to play at Utah State. Okay, coming out of high school, local kid. They didn't recruit him. They didn't want him. He goes to Utah State, balls out of control, and they're like, yo, who is this kid? We got to get him. And here he is. Now he's at BYU. If they lose Retzlaff due to these accusations and all this stuff, don't worry about it. They're going to be kind of in the same position. I actually think Hillstead's a better player. I think he gives them a better chance to win games. Their receiver room is respectable, good. Offensive line is dominant. LJ Martin, 1,000-yard rusher. So I like BYU and where they're at. I do. It is what it is. But gave that quarterback room a 7. And I don't think highly of Retzlaff. I still gave it a 7 because of Hillstead. Cal, one of the worst quarterback rooms in the Power 4. Worst quarterback rooms in the Power 4, and I'm convinced that Devin Brown is not him. Devin Brown, Ohio State transfer. Listen, a lot of you guys think Power 4 backups are NFL caliber prospects, and they're not. Your whole quarterback room is not a bunch of pros. Your whole running back room and wide receiver room, they're not all a bunch of pros. The best player in that room might be a 7th-round draft pick. Ask George about the running back room. So when you start evaluating these players, you got to understand, if you're the third-string quarterback or second string quarterback at Ohio State, that usually thinks that's a good thing. I think it's a huge drop-off. From Fernando Mendoza to Devin Brown, I think it's a catastrophic drop-off. When you look at the running back room, Jaden Ott down to Kendrick Raphael, like these are monumentally bad fall-offs. Like, I just don't understand how Cal does anything. I don't get it. I think Cal's going to be in a lot of trouble. And I think, obviously, I'm on Justin Wilcox getting fired. So, we're looking at Cal. I gave them a 4 at quarterback. It's probably the lowest ranking of any group of 4 quarterback. And a lot of it has to do with the fact that I also don't believe in this wide receiver room, so the production won't be there. And you might look at it and go, but Rico, Tron Grizzle's 6'6", and Jacob DeJesus was great at UNLV in the slot. Man, if you watch Jacob DeJesus at UNLV, they were only getting the ball in handoffs and end-arounds. They weren't even throwing it to him. A lot of these guys don't move me like that. Yes, Kyon Gray's transfer from Ohio State. Oh, like, I don't care, bro. I don't care. I'm sticking with what I say. Oh, by the way, this freshman here coming in from Oregon, Rico, he's the best transfer in the world. All right, man. All I do is assess talent. Give me Cal at 4. The worst quarterback in America, worst quarterback room in America, Central Michigan. Central Michigan, the Chippewas, there's Matt Drinkall. They go and fire their coach. Now, let me say this about this team. Matt Drinkall is doing his best. He's trying to create some type of, I don't know, excitement with his team. I believe Matt Drinkall is an assistant, former assistant from Army, if I remember correctly, from Army. So he's going in there and he's trying to address this team from the inside out, changing culture. You can't do it with the talent they have. So Joe Labus, former Iowa quarterback, I don't believe in Joe like that, and I don't like anybody else they got. And I watched as much as I could on everybody. This is one of the worst teams. Now Trey Cornish, transfer from Tulane, he looks good, and they're going to use him a lot because they like to run the ball. So, and then that's why they have a fullback now. I get it, okay? I've always been a Stephen Bracey kid, the Wisconsin kid. I've always been a fan of him, so I'll leave that alone. But when I look at quarterbacks, and the offensive line looks young, I just don't like it. I don't like it. Give him a 1. And I reserve the right to change it later, but I don't think I will. I don't think I need to. I'm just not on it like that. Charlotte got themselves Connor Harrell, Grayson Loftus. Hey. Excuse me. So, Connor Harrell, former North Carolina quarterback, tall, athletic, can extend the plays. I like the kid. Grayson Loftus, baller, but can't get in the starting lineup wherever he goes. I don't know why. This former Duke quarterback, like him when he's on the field. He's kind of crafty. I like these 2 kids right here. They're good enough, and especially the Power 4, or the Group of 5, I'm sorry. So, what did I give him? A 4. Good enough. Kind of journeyman is what I said, right? Journeyman, Group of 4. That's how you get a 4. Good, elite, 5. All-conference, 6. I don't think they're all-conference guys, but they're not bad. Next quarterback room, Cincinnati. Do we even need to pull it up? Do we even need to talk about it? It is my boy Sorsby, and there's really nothing to talk about here. Sorsby showing up. Got himself some weapons, some bigger wide receivers, guys like Caleb Goody, big body guys. Love Barry Jackson since he came out of high school. Shout out to the Saints. What is their baby blue? Cedar Grove. Played at Cedar Grove. Am I wrong? Barry Jackson, Cedar Grove. Cedar Grove! Wah! I did a video on him in the high school state championship game. He actually got shut down in the game. Didn't play well. But I've always been a Barry Jackson guy. So I'm cool with that. It's exciting to see him up. He was a last-second flip. He was supposed to go to somewhere, but he's followed. Oh, he was going to go with Scott Satterfield. How did that work? I don't remember. I thought it was Nebraska, and then he flipped to Cincinnati, something like that. All right, Caleb Goody, good receivers. Brendan Sorsby's him. And you got Tawee Walker coming into the running back room, replacing Corey Kiner, 1,000-yard rusher. I'm cool with this. I'm cool with this all day long. I don't know how I'm going to feel about their win-loss total, but I'm giving Cincinnati a 9. And some of you guys might not agree. You might not think Brendan Sorsby's that good. I do. I think individually he touches the ball every play. He's just 6'4". How big is he? 220, 230? 6'3", 220. Okay, I said 6'4". Give him an inch because I see him in pads. Cleats, helmet. Looks 6'4" to me. All right, so he's a baller. I'm cool with that. Who's next? Clemson. Give him a 10. Cade Klubnik, best quarterback in America. You heard it here first. Caden, I think so highly of Clemson this year. I think they're going to win the ACC. I think they're going to be in the playoffs. Cade Klubnik's a Heisman finalist of some sort. Like, that's how I feel about Clemson. I really, really like Clemson, and he has all the weapons in the world. So Cade Klubnik is a 10. Coastal Carolina. Let's see where we're at. Coastal, MJ Morris. MJ Morris transferred in from NC State. This is a good quarterback. I like him. What did I put him at? A 5? He could be all conference. He could play really well. The problem is I like Tucker a lot. The problem I have is, oh no, Emmett Brown's here. Emmett Brown's good. Man, I got to put some respect on his name. He's not all conference just yet. But this is a good thing to have. Another thing is Tim Beck. Tim Beck's a good coach for quarterbacks. Emmett Brown's a baller. San Jose State transfer. Whew. Man, and they got Simpkins, my dude. Yeah, remember last year when everybody thought Tad Hudson was going to be the starter, and he's now 4th string? That's a good thing to have. Such an upgrade in the quarterback room that the guy who people thought was going to be a starter last year, and because he's a stud, Rico, and he's 4th string. That means a huge improvement in this quarterback room. Man, I want to give MJ Morris a 6. First change of the board. All right, Colorado. We're in the Big 12 now. Colorado starting quarterback, Caden Salter. I'm giving him a 6. This is an all-conference player from Liberty. First and foremost, Liberty, worst conference in America, right? They play in Conference USA. It's not that impressive that you dominated Liberty 2 years ago. Last year did not dominate Liberty, or did not dominate the conference. So he's an all-conference guy in the group of 5 is what he is. When he was at Tennessee, there was no chance he was ever seeing the field. And now that he's here at Colorado, I think it's fool's gold. Like, people don't understand. He's just not that good, right? They'll talk to you about how good Colorado wide receivers are. And, I gave him a 7. My bad. I gave him a 7. He's an experienced group of 5 quarterback. So that's a 7. He's an elite group of 5 quarterback. I already told you. He's not a draft pick. Not an 8, 9, or 10. Not a draft pick. Not that guy. So it's a 7. The receiver room, like, if you thought the receiver room was elite, and like all the fans tell me, that's cool, but I'm going to give you the reality, okay? The reality is Joseph Williams can come in from Tulsa, who I think very highly of. That's a group of 5 wide receiver. Joseph Williams can come in from Tulsa and become a starter at your school. That's how bad the wide receiver room is. A group of 5 young, talented kid could show up and be a starter at your school. That can't happen anywhere else in the Power 4. In the Power 4, Joseph Williams can't go anywhere and just become a starter. So that's why I gave the wide receiver room a 6. Huge drop-offs from last year. These aren't NFL draft picks. These aren't anything to talk about. Not an NFL draft pick. No, nothing to talk about. So it is what it is. Colorado State, quarterback room. Same starting quarterback they had last year. Braden Fowler-Nicolosi. I like Braden Fowler-Nicolosi as a person. I know his father. I talked to them online. I did a hidden gem video on the kid. I think very highly of him. Makes a lot of mistakes. Throws a lot of picks. So he's a group of 5 quarterback, but he's experienced. He's been a starter for 3 years now. And with the departure of Morrow at running back, they're now looking pretty good with Justin Marshall. Wide receivers kind of getting cast-offs from the Power 4 and hoping they work out. That's what Armani Winfield is. He's a guy from Baylor and stuff. So I'm on Colorado right now, quarterback room. I got to give him a 6. It could go down to a 5 if he keeps up his turnovers. But let's go with the 6. Continuity is important. You with your head coach, you're in that scheme for multiple years. Continuity is important. Let's go there. Duke, I'm giving you a 7. Okay, Mensa coming in from Tulane. I'm giving you a 7. There's really nothing to it. All conference guy in the group of 5. You move up, you're a 7. A lot like Salter at Colorado. That's how I feel about Mensa. I don't care about PFF scores and all that shit they're talking about. You get a really high PFF score when you're playing ULM. You get a really high PFF score when you're playing fucking Louisiana Lafayette. I'm serious. So, yes, Mensa has a great PFF score. They paid him a ton of money. Duke just lost 2 of their leading receivers. Their best receivers. Eli is gone, and Jordan Moore's gone. So, for me, I don't know how Duke's relevant in the wide receiver room. We'll get to all that later, but that's where I'm at on it. East Carolina, one of the worst quarterback rooms in America. And the thing about it is you just lost. What's his face just retired? What was his name? Not Jake. The kid who transferred everywhere. Martinez. But you got Caden Hauser. Congratulations. If that's your quarterback, let's rock with him. Caden Hauser. He's hot and cold. He's on some days. He's off some days. I'm not on him like that. So I'm on a Caden Hauser. I'm on a sell on Caden Hauser. You might be high on him. You might change your number from 2. I won't. Okay? Eastern Michigan. Yikes. Eastern Michigan. Chris Crichton always gets the most out of his players, and he's going to have to get the most out of Kim Noah. Kim Noah's not a bad quarterback to have. Cameron Edge, not a bad quarterback to have here. But if you're riding with him like this, with Kim Noah, you're going to have to impress me. Those numbers might have to change at some point. But right here, right now, I'm not on that Kim Noah train like that. I don't think I am. I don't. I haven't bought into him like that. Shout out to the former Michigan State quarterback. FAU, I'm all in on FAU, man. I'm all in on their quarterback. Caden Veldkamp, all-conference quarterback, coming over from Western Kentucky, following his former offensive coordinator, Zach Kittley, who just left Texas Tech as an offensive coordinator there. Zach Kittley is the guy who had, what's his name? Bailey Zappi. Bailey Zappi threw for 6,000 yards while at Western Kentucky. His offensive coordinator was Zach Kittley. Zach Kittley's the reason. He was at Houston Baptist before that when Bailey Zappi was there. They moved over with the Stearns brothers. So Zach Kittley is a passing quarterback-friendly coach. That's what he is. That's what they're going to do at FAU. They're going to air it out. They're going to throw the ball like crazy. So when you start seeing these wide receiver rooms, look at that. That's former Colorado wide receiver right there. I said Wasim coming over. Where did he play his high school ball? Oh, he's from Florida. Without looking, he played his high school ball at St. Thomas Aquinas. Oh, I was wrong. Who was I thinking of? Somebody else. Anyways, Easton Messer coming over. Bad little white dude, slot receiver. Guess where he's from? Western Kentucky. Coming over with his quarterback. Caden Veldkamp's very good. Caden Veldkamp can play can play ball. Weissman. That's another Colorado transfer? I'm tripping, man. But I'm all on Caden Veldkamp all day. I gave him a 7. Like him a lot. FIU. We don't like Keontae Jenkins, but it's his 3rd year starting. And if you look at his stats, they got better last year. Keontae Jenkins. So I'm going to give him a 5. He could, if there was no injuries, things are coming together. So I'm going to give him a 5. Shout out to Keontae Jenkins. Florida. DJ Lagway. I'm giving him an 8. He's a good player. Got to get better options in the air. Hope Trey Wilson coming back. Eugene Wilson III. Call him Trey. Hope Trey Wilson can carry that load. But I'm on Florida. DJ Lagway an 8. Potential is there. But if I'm sitting here today, he's an 8. Florida State. Thomas Castellanos is a 5. Meaning he would be great in the group of 5. He can't throw to save his life. But there he is. Fresno State. E.J. Warner. Kurt Warner's son. I like Kurt Warner's son, E.J. Warner. He can air it out and get a bunch of numbers. He's with the right coaching staff. Give me E.J. Warner to go out there and be a Mikey Keene-like quarterback. Give me a 6 there. Potential to be all conference. Who's at Georgia Southern? Oh, it's J.C. French. J.C. French at Georgia Southern. He ended up playing pretty decent. This is a former Memphis quarterback. Look, man, I watched J.C. French in high school at Walton here in Georgia. He was good then. And then he goes up to Memphis. No shame. You can't start over Seth Hennigan. It's what? Why were you going to Seth Hennigan? No, okay. So Seth Hennigan's starting for 4 years. Shut up. So he transfers back home to Georgia Southern, playing for Clay Helton. Playing for Clay Helton, Tyson's brother, former USC quarterback or coach, excuse me. Yeah, I think he's got a chance to be all conference with the stats, with the production. J.C. French is not the problem. And I like my boy OJ at running back, but we'll get into that another day. Georgia State quarterback. So they lost their quarterback in the transfer portal late this cycle, and they're having to pick up the slack and the pieces. So let's talk about it. They've got a kid named Christian Villieu. You guys know how I feel about Christian Villieu. This guy should not be a starting quarterback in college football. This is a Canadian kid coming out of high school. He had the right size and metrics, so the recruiting websites gave him 4 stars. And I'm like, bruh, that kid can't play football. Went to Pitt, couldn't play there. Penn State. Couldn't play there, then transferred, and now he's your starting quarterback. Don't like him. Cameron Brown, good quarterback. Like him. Dual threat, athletic. I bet he ends up starting games at some point. Don't think he can throw. Neither one of these guys can throw. And I feel bad for Ted Hurst because Teddy Hurst is a bad mother jammer. I feel bad for Ted Hurst, but Rashad Amos showing up should help. Rashad Amos is a group of 5 all-star. Can't play in the Power 4. Don't want to hear about it. But in the group of 5, as long as he's not fumbling, dude's like a 1,200-yard rusher. So Georgia State's got some pieces to put together. But at quarterback, there are 2. Georgia Tech, giving them a 9. Give them a 9 at quarterback, and damn do I want to give them a 10. If we're talking about betting on teams, if we're talking about betting on teams, Georgia Tech's offense has to be one of the scariest teams to try to go up against. I mean that. They just got Eric Rivers showing up. I don't care who they lost, Singleton leaving and all this stuff. Dean Patterson also, both FIU wide receivers. We'll talk about that another day. But Haynes King, the Hayneses. Haynes, have Haynes your way, bro. These guys are ballers, man. As long as Haynes King is healthy, you got nothing to worry about. Now, I don't give a shit. Aaron Philo's sitting right there. So even if Haynes King gets beat up at some point, Aaron Philo is the all-time leading passer in Georgia high school history. He can come off the bench and ball. Georgia Tech's got a quarterback room. I'm giving them a 9. Georgia, quarterback, you guys know how I feel about Gunnar Stockton. I think very highly of him. But today, Gunnar Stockton's an 8. They gave him some weapons. Let's see what happens. But Gunnar Stockton's an 8. And I want to be very clear about this, MVPs. Do not be upset with me. Georgia's over-under is like 8.5 this year by Vegas. That means Vegas thinks Georgia has a chance to win less than 9 games. That means 8 wins. That means 4 losses. So when you see this and you start going, no, I'm a Georgia fan. Georgia's 10s and all across the board. Like, slow down. You're missing it. You're missing the decline of talent. You're missing the decline of development or the inability to reload, restock, and refuel. Somebody's paying attention, and it's not the fans. Do not be shocked if Georgia falls off the proverbial cliff, okay? I love Gunnar Stockton. Hawaii's got a sneaky good team, y'all. Sneaky good offense. Shout out to Timmy Chang. Hawaii did something pretty awesome. They just got a kid that's not here. They just got the transfer from UCLA. Demarius Davis? Is that the kid who just transferred? Let me go up here. Who is it? Thought I had the transfer portal up. I apologize, guys. I usually don't talk about sports unless I got the transfer portal up. I don't see it. All right. It is what it is. Nonetheless, they just got a kid from UCLA who's pretty decent, former 4-star. But what I'm going to tell you is none of that matters. This Micah Alejandro dude, I don't know how to say his name. This little guy right here, I got a little guy. He's 5'10", 180 pounds. I turn on the tape. What an amazing quarterback. This kid played at Bishop Gorman, one of the best high school teams in America. He's like Noah Fafita 2.0. And he finally got to play in the bowl game last year. Or was it the bowl game or the game before that? He played at the end of the year. Schrager gets injured, couldn't play in the season finale. That's what it was. Braden Schrager, their 4-year starter, quarterback, all this stuff. He gets injured, and then this dude comes off the bench and throws for over 400 yards in his first start ever. I'm telling you, it wasn't a bowl game. They were 5-7. I'm telling you, this little dude right here is a bad mother flipper, bro. I like him a lot. Hawaii, I give him a 6. I'm talking crazy. That's a bad little dude. And their wide receiver room at Hawaii is easily an 8. Let's go with this. Let's go with a 7. This dude right here, Pofley Ashlock, does not belong at Hawaii. He belongs at one of the schools in Texas, one of the big schools in Texas. He belongs in the Power 4. So does Nick Cynical. Both these dudes right here. These are monsters. And then DeKel Crowdus is huge. Transfer from Kentucky. Hey, I got it right. I don't mean huge in size. I mean it's huge to have him there at Hawaii. I believe in these 3 dudes right here. They're gonna be a problem. I don't know how you stop these guys. They're a 7-on-7 nightmare. All right, Houston. They just got what's his face from Texas A&M. Giving him a 7. I'm not all in on Connor Wegman. I just haven't ever been. But I am all in on Willie Fritz as a coach. So Give me Connor Wegman at Houston. It is what it is. Illinois, yes. Altmaier's that good. So I'm giving them a 9. Illinois is a 9, and they got a sneaky good wide receiver room, a sneaky good quarterback room. It is what it is. Indiana, Fernando Mendoza, giving them an 8. Kind of DJ Lagway-ish range. Fernando Mendoza, former Cal starting quarterback. I believe in him at Indiana. Indiana's got an elite wide receiver room. Good running backs. I really like Indiana right now. They look like they're built to win. Iowa hit the transfer portal, got themselves an FCS All-American. He's essentially a group of 5 all-conference guy. Like, even when you look at South Dakota State, Montana State, like, even when you look at those teams, they're not competing with the Power 4 teams. They're competing when they schedule a group of 5 team, and they can beat them. But it's not the same, right? So I know Gronowski really well, watched him play a lot of football, but it is what it is. I give him a 6. I'm giving him a 6. I'll never believe in an Iowa offense until I see it, bro. That's real. Iowa State, Rocco Beck, Gnome Goods, the bee's knees. Hey, let's talk about this Jacksonville State. I turned on the tape yesterday, and I start watching Jacksonville State. I really do. And I start watching this kid, Cade Cunningham. Cade Cunningham, I believe he's from Richmond. Is that from the kid from Richmond? Where is he from? No, Memphis and Marshall. My bad. So this is not the kid. Told you, no notes. I got the wrong guy. Cade Cunningham from Memphis and Marshall. I just remember him at Memphis. I didn't know he was at Marshall. That's news to me. Nonetheless, starting over Gavin Wimsatt. That's hilarious. Gavin Wimsatt, former 4-star from Rutgers, from Kentucky, transferring in, and he can't even start at Jacksonville State, which is kind of what I told you guys. That's how it goes. If you can't start at your school, you're not an automatic starter in the group of 5. That's not real. Running back room is loaded, though. Running back room looks really nice. Justice Savage can play football. He's a good football player, and he's third string. Andrew Paul, former Georgia running back, second string. Cam Cook, former TCU starter. So this is like a really good running back room. But quarterbacks, I thought it was funny. I'm giving him a 3. James Madison, this is the kid, right? This is the kid from Richmond. Check this out. Matthew Sluka transferred in to follow his old coach, Bob Chesney. Matthew Sluka, former UNLV quarterback, dual threat kid, superstar with his old coach. And I don't know if Matthew Sluka is going to be the starter. Camden Coleman has just got that dog in him. He's been betting on himself from high school. Had a really obscure journey through like either a prep school or a JUCO or something. Then ended up at Richmond. Was balling out at Richmond for the last 2 years. Stats are pretty sharp. I turn on the tape and I see just a crafty, athletic kid who can actually throw. We know Matthew Sluka can't throw. Matthew Sluka is a great dual threat guy. Can run his ass off. This kid is something else, bro. And I love the running back room. You guys know how I feel about Ayo Adehi, former North Texas kid. I like this offense. I do. I like the offense. And Camden Coleman. I don't see how, and I wrote about it on Twitter. I'm like, I don't know. So I'm going ahead and giving him a 6, and I'm projecting I think he's going to be all conference, which sounds crazy. Next quarterback, Kansas, you get an 8. Go prove me right, Jalen Daniels. I believe in you, man. Go get that 8. 6, you guys know I don't like anything Kansas State does at the quarterback position right now. I'm not a big believer in it, so you guys can be mad at me for the Avery Johnson ranking, but I'm giving him a 6. Kennesaw State a 3. Who was it? Excuse me. Oh, it's Dexter Williams. Dexter Williams gets a 3. And the thing about Dexter Williams is this is a former Indiana quarterback transferred to Georgia Southern. And they put him on the bench. They wouldn't let him start over J.C. French. And I don't blame him. But anytime J.C. French went down with an injury, Dexter Williams would come off the bench and lead his team to victory. Straight up. You'd be sitting there, you're betting on the under, the over, the whatever. And you're like, yeah, Georgia Southern's going to lose. Boom, this guy helps him win. Over and over and over. He got tired of sitting on the bench, so he transfers to Kennesaw State, and now he gets a chance to shine. It's a good player. Good player. Good enough, so I'm going to go ahead and give him a 3. That means I think he's a good player, a 3. Kent State, worst quarterback room out there, gave him a 1. I don't even want to talk about it, man. Fire your coach, your team. I go look, and it's just the same old. Same old bullshit. Only this time, you lose 2 of your best receivers. Luke's gone. Luke Floria, he's gone, and then McCray's gone. So how are you going to get any quarterback production of any sort? I don't know. Kent State won. Kentucky, I talked about this on the Transfer Portal podcast. If you want to go watch it, I broke down Kentucky's entire, I guess, how I feel about what they're doing as a team and what they're finding answers in. And everybody's going to tell you Zach Calzada's either not good or very good. And we're going to get into this whole thing. Well, guess what? He's better than Cutter Boley. Zach Calzada is a group of 5 quarterback. Yes, he's played in the SEC before. Yes, he's been a starting quarterback multiple times, and he played well at UIW. He had 2 elite receivers at UIW. Playing in the FCS, when you dominate like that, you should probably move up to a group of 5 starting quarterback. But here he is at Kentucky. So I'm going to give him a 6. I'm going to give him a group of 5 rating, which is that 6, which is pretty solid. It's the best Kentucky can ask for in that moment, if you ask me. La Tech, bringing back their starter from last year. Brock, he's okay. He's not good. It's Conference USA, bro. He gets a 4. He's better than the people we don't know about, is what I'll say. But it's not something that you should be bragging about at La Tech. I will say this. Sonny Cumbie really helped him and get a bunch of stats and stuff. Liberty starting quarterback. Ethan Vasco, transferring in from Coastal Carolina. I'm not a huge Ethan Vasco guy, but he's okay. And Liberty's losing some of their quarterback play. Obviously, they didn't have a great year last year, and then you go and lose your starting quarterback to Colorado. But they also have this kid, Ryan Berger, who actually liked the App State transfer. Just moving around the mid, bro. Moving around the mid players. That's all it is. Louisiana got Walker Howard, transferred in from Ole Miss, and he dominated the spring game. He looks really good. Walker Howard, former 4 or 5-star quarterback coming out of high school, and just one of those kids you believe in. Him, and when I was watching tape on Louisiana quarterbacks that year, it was him and Eli Holstein. They were the 2 best guys. Holstein. And I was like, yo, these guys can play ball. One goes to LSU, one goes to Alabama, and now they've both transferred. Now one's at Pitt, and one's starting for Louisiana, the Raging Cajun. So, cool. Louisville quarterback, Miller Moss, get a 7, bro. Don't want to hear about it. The Braun brothers can get the most out of you. That's fine. But Miller Moss is not an 8, 9, or 10. He's just not at that echelon. I've watched enough tape on Miller Moss to know I got to keep him at 7. I just can't believe in Miller Moss in moments. So it is what it is. LSU, Nuss bus. I'm on the Nuss bus. I believe in LSU's offense. LSU has 10 at wide receivers, 10 at quarterback. Best rooms in America, in the top 5 for both. I'm with it. Marshall, huge drop-off at quarterback here. Remember, you just lost everybody at Marshall. They all transferred to Southern Miss. And so Marshall's going to have a really bad year. They are. I don't know what to tell you. And Zion Turner getting the ball every play, isn't it? We've watched Zion Turner come off the bench and ruin our days. We've watched Zion Turner do some things that are impressive at times. The former Jacksonville State quarterback. And I forgot where else he was. But when you see the backup quarterback is CDW, Carlos Del Rio Wilson, CDRW, a rewritable disc. Some of you guys don't know what I'm talking about. But I've known Carlos Del Rio Wilson for a very long time. Played at Cartersville in high school. He transferred there for his final year. That's Trevor Lawrence's high school here in Georgia. Then they gave him like 3 or 4 stars. 4 stars maybe. He went to Florida, couldn't play there. Went up to Syracuse, couldn't play there. This isn't a great player, and he just keeps kind of transferring around, sitting on the bench. But that quarterback room's in shambles. Michael Allen, starting running back, not good. These aren't guys that should be like. It's a bad team. Bad team. Marshall's bad. So I'm going ahead and giving Marshall a 2. Maryland, you get a 4. One of the lowest scores of the group of 5, or I'm sorry, the Power 4 at quarterback. This could change, but it's just hard for me to project Maryland's starting quarterback room. First and foremost, I think Malik Washington's going to win this quarterback battle. Incoming freshman Malik Washington, high school film review alumni. I did a high school film review on him. I like Malik Washington as a player. Shout out to his dad. He's a follower of the channel, all that stuff. That doesn't matter, man. Should you be starting in the Big Ten? No. This is a team that had Billy Edwards at quarterback, and they only won 1 conference game last year. And Billy Edwards is good. He's starting at Wisconsin right now. So you take a step back, and now you have Justin Martin, who's a UCLA transfer, not very good, or Malik Washington. Those are your only 2 options. Maryland, this is bad. Mike Loxley, you missed the point. You missed the boat. This is not good. No. Wide receiver room, no. Quarterback room, worse. So I'm giving him a 4. those guys could start at a group of 5 school, right? Memphis, for the first time, they will have a new quarterback. And it's funny because I never believed in Brendan Lewis until last year, right? So Memphis having a 4-year starter gone. Seth Hennigan gone. Now Brendan Lewis is here. Brendan Lewis is a dual threat beast. He was the quarterback in Nevada last year. Before that, he was the quarterback at Colorado. Was he a quarterback at Tennessee? No, that was that other guy. Shook something with an S. But no, he was a quarterback at Colorado, down in Nevada, and now here at Memphis. I'm more excited about AJ Hill. Shout out to AJ Hill. Been watching him his whole high school career, and I just think AJ Hill is a future pro. I think AJ Hill is a gem. That's a beast of a quarterback. And yes, there's some good players down here. Oh, wow. Bodiford's here too. Bodiford, Walton High School? Yeah. Dude. They got some players, man. Memphis out here recruiting the hell out of Georgia. That's pretty cool. Sutton Smith's a baller. DeRosa's is a baller. They got some things going on. Obviously lost 2 of their best receivers from last year. They're 2 leading receivers. They're 2 leaders on the team. Shout out to my boys. I don't want to get into wide receivers too much, but I want to tell you that I don't see how the Memphis wide receivers stay as good as they were last year. Like, Rock Taylor is Memphis football, and then obviously they had the fastest wide receiver in the entire conference. Every week I'm going Demir Blankumsey over and over and over. So not having 2 guys like that I've been able to rely on for the last 2 years is going to be tough. And then obviously no Seth Hennigan. But quarterback room's not bad. Shout out to Memphis. You got a 5. Miami, you get a 10. You do get a 10. Carson Beck is a 10 caliber quarterback. We'll see what happens with it. But he gets a 10 for now. We might adjust. Miami of Ohio. Bringing in DeQuan Finn. When DeQuan Finn's in the MAC, he's a problem. Former Toledo starting quarterback. Went to Baylor. I told you guys it was a terrible transfer. He can't play there. I was 100% right. And they don't know how to evaluate talent over there. And here we go. He's back in the MAC. It's a good thing for Miami of Ohio. I went ahead and gave him a 6. I think he'll be all conference. That's a pretty good rating for a MAC quarterback. Michigan, I gave them a 6 as well. Don't know what you have, but you probably have an all-conference quarterback that could play in the group of 5. I don't like where they're at. Mikey Keene should probably be the starter. If Underwood's their starter, fine. But I'm not on Michigan like that. I'm giving them a 6. Michigan State, Aiden Childs is just childish. I don't know. Aiden Childs needs to take a big leap forward, and I don't know if he's got it, but a lot of turnovers and a lot of mistakes. Speaking of mistakes, Nick V up in this house. Nick V's been a starter forever. He always throws for 3,000 yards. Shout out to Middle Tennessee State. But if you watch, he is the epitome of mid. So don't get it twisted. When you watch Nick V, he cannot make plays when you need him to. And then when you expect him to fall flat on his face, he'll make a play. It's the most frustrating thing in the world. I'm not on his train at all. Gave him a 5. He is a journeyman starter, been around for a long time. Cool, bro. It is what it is. Minnesota surprised me a lot. I went and turned on the tape for Minnesota, looking at their quarterbacks, and Dylan Witke, former Buford, starting quarterback at Buford here in Georgia. Shout out to him. Dylan Witke transferring in. That's a cool story and everything, but it looks like Drake Lindsey's the starting quarterback, and I was surprised. I'm surprised. I just don't see the pedigree to win games. Now, the running back room's amazing. The running back room, I gave it a 9. One of the best running back rooms in America. But quarterback's a 5 for them. Mississippi State, quarterback Blake Shapen, giving him a 6. Kind of probably belongs in the group of 5 guy. But he's got a good coach. He's in the SEC. I'll give him a 6. I can't possibly give him a 7. And I don't feel comfortable giving him a 5. I don't. Missouri, who's going to be the starting quarterback? Bo Pribula or Sam Horn? It doesn't really matter. They're both about 6s to me. Bo has a dual threat athleticism to him. Sam Horn's sneaky athletic, but if he can get over that injury, that elbow injury, then we'll see where we're at. Navy, you get a 7. Navy, one of the best quarterback rooms in the group of 5. I would feel more comfortable if I had to pick a group of 5 quarterback out there. Maddox at Boise State, and who else did I think was very good in the group of 5? Maddox at Boise State. Oh, Veltkamp at FAU. And then our boy Eli here at Navy. So I've got 3 of them that I really believe in the group of 5, and Navy's got themselves a hell of a team. By the way, returning back all their little fullbacks, all their stuff. Yeah, Navy's a problem. Navy's a problem. But that boy, did I say Eli? I meant Blake. Blake Horvath. Oh my goodness. It's been a long day. So Blake Horvath is him. Go turn on the tape. He'll ruin your day. Ruin your damn day. NC State. I'm cool with this. Now you guys don't have to agree with me, right? I go in here and I gotta give out 7s, 8s, and 9s. But when I turn on the tape and I see a guy 6'3", 6'4", moving and extending plays, and I know he's the future, I gotta go with it. Now I don't like Dave Doran as a head coach. Don't know him personally. I'm just saying. But CJ Bailey's a good player, man. And when you look at this team, Justin Jolly's back. A little undersized, but the dude can just play. And then you got these receivers. How are they so bad? How are they so bad? You got to fire your coach. You have to. But individually, if I'm assessing the team, I'm looking at CJ Bailey and I'm going, you're a hell of a player. Nebraska, you get a 7 at quarterback. Raiola's a 7, not an 8. Right? I don't have Raiola as good as DJ Lagway. What's his name? Goggles, South Carolina. It'll come to me when it's time. I'm at 7 on Nebraska. 7. Nevada, you get a 2. You're starting Purdy, Chubba. Any dude named Chubba, yeah, you're getting a 2, bro. New Mexico, you get a 1. New Mexico losing Devin Dampier hurts. Losing your offensive coordinator hurts. You got a whole new coaching staff on the offensive side of the ball. Who did they get at quarterback? Oh, Jack Lane. He's actually injured right now. Jack Lane's injured. He's not a bad quarterback. He's not. He's a transfer from Idaho. I like the kid. Doesn't matter. The only thing at New Mexico that I'm excited about, that I want to see, is Scott Trey Humphrey. That's all I want to see. I don't care about nothing else. Scott Trey Humphrey transferring in, running back from Montana State. That dude is my guy. Like, I'm cool with Scott Trey Humphrey. The rest of this shit, don't care. Oh, it's going to be bad to watch. And Wysong being second string is crazy. All right. New Mexico, you get a 1 at quarterback. Especially because you had an injury. You went to your spring game and played these other 2 dudes, and they were utter horseshit. Horseshit. New Mexico State. Who do you guys have? Oh, Logan Fife. So, Logan Fife coming back to the FBS, former Fresno State quarterback, transferred up to Montana. Sat the bench, kind of played a little bit, but not really. Not enough to impress me, but he's better than Parker Awad. Parker Awad, one of the worst quarterbacks in America. And I'm sure Brandon Nunes was here, and he hit the transfer portal. He got mad, man. They're not giving me the ball. They're not letting me play. Brandon Nunes came off the bench one day, rushed for like 4 touchdowns in a game, and he was talking shit. He's curly hair, acting all tough. Dude, these guys all suck, bro. You guys are all terrible. You got Logan Fife here. Good stuff. The running back room got wrecked after the spring. You lost everybody, and now you have Kadarius Callaway coming in, which probably makes sense. Former Alabama, blah, blah, blah. Look, man, he could play ball at ODU, couldn't even see the field at Cal, and now here he is at New Mexico State. This feels about right. So, Logan Fife, probably a gift and a gem for these guys. New Mexico State had some of the worst quarterback play you'll ever see last year. Some of the worst you'll ever see. So, for them, they got to be excited to see a kid like Logan Fife, and they just got to put their stamp on him. Like, yo, this is our guy. I say that. It doesn't matter. Tony Sanchez sucks. So, New Mexico State, I'm still going to only give you a 3, even though I like Logan Fife. Let's go to North Carolina. Gio Lopez, kind of in the same mold as DJ Lagway and all the other 8s out there. I like Gio Lopez at North Carolina. We'll see what happens with that, okay? North Texas, you get a 6. Who's North Texas got? Who did they go pick up? Because I know they lost Chandler. Oh, Reese Poffinger. So some people won't know this move right here. I'm cool with Reese. Reese, a Miami transfer. Before that, I believe he was at Albany. I'll double check in the FCS. Yeah, Albany, Old Dominion. Yeah, this kid can play ball, man. He was one of the nation's leading passers while in the FCS. This is fucking on brand for Eric Morris to go out and get a kid who can just throw that rock. What's crazy is they don't want Messmaker as their starting quarterback. Messmaker came off the bench and played the greatest you've ever seen somebody play. Incredible stuff. But this is your guy, Poffenbarger. I've always liked his tape. I watched him when he went to Miami. I went back and watched all the tape. I thought very highly of the kid. So to see him at North Texas, pretty good. I think very highly of him. I went ahead and gave him a 6. I think he'll be all conference. So I went with it. Northern Illinois. This one's kind of sneaky. Northern Illinois. You see how I went all the way across? That means I deep dived Northern Illinois in the last couple of days. When you see the ratings go all the way across, I wanted to make sure I have a really good grasp of who they are. Why can't I see it? Am I tripping on here? Oh, there it is. I wanted to have a really good grasp of what this team is doing and who they are. So I deep dove every single position group, as you can see, all the way across. They're done already. I've already completed them. Look at that on defense as well. And so what I came up with is Northern Illinois, Josh Holst is the quarterback. Now, we saw Holst play a little bit towards the end of last year, and the kid who used to start for them, he hit the transfer portal. But Josh Holst actually caught like a 2-point conversion in the bowl game, maybe, or one of the final games of the year. He was athletic, and he was able to run around and extend plays. I actually think he's pretty decent, man. I like him. Gave him a 3. He's not gonna dominate the MAC. No, their running back room is. Their running back room's a problem. Telly Johnson is the guy. Don't believe this stuff. Telly Johnson, he's a single digit now. If you didn't know the way it works at Northern Illinois, if you get a single digit, you are a baller. And he is a single digit player now. So Telly Johnson from Augusta, Georgia. What? Right? He's the guy. And Romello Ware is really fast. So these two guys really stick out to me more so than Poe. I'm on that Telly Johnson train, and so are they. Trust. They're on it. Northwestern starting quarterback is a journeyman. He's a 5. He's a journeyman. Who is it? It'll come to me. Sorry about that. Got to decline this. Let's go in here. Oh, Preston Stone, SMU. Used to be the starting quarterback, made a bunch of mistakes. Can he play at Northwestern? I think so. I think he's pretty good. He'll be fine. Preston Stone gets a 5, though. That's pretty low for a Power 4 player. Notre Dame. Don't like your quarterback room, Notre Dame. Obviously, Steve Angeli just jumped ship and left you high and dry. That's unfortunate because Angeli will be the starting quarterback at Syracuse, and I think Angeli would have been in like a 7 range for me. Who are they going to play? They're going to play Carr? Is that what they're doing here? So I give them a 6 at Notre Dame. Let me be very clear. I don't think it matters. I don't think it's going to impact them unless we get into one of those plays, CJ Carr, excuse me, and we get into one of those situations where you need to make a play on 3rd and long or something, and maybe it hurts you. But I'm on record for telling you guys this, and please listen to me very closely. They brought over an offensive coordinator they brought over a mindset of we're going to improve our team and rebuild and reload. And I want to believe it. But it's going to be very hard to replace the leaders on their defensive side of the ball. I'm talking about Jack Kaiser and the leaders in the secondary. Oh, they still got one. Yes, Leonard Moore's amazing. But when I look at this team, they're missing certain leadership pieces. But, man, do I love the running back room and that wide receiver room. No one's going to tell you Notre Dame has elite wide receivers. But Ricoknows. Notre Dame's wide receivers are a full-blown 10. A 10. If you see Will Pauling not in the starting lineup, this is a 10 at wide receivers. So now all CJ Carr has to do is hit these little dump-offs. Hit these little screens. Hit these little slants. Throw it up in the air. Gatehouse is coming down. Greathouse is coming down with it. That's where I'm at on this, okay? So I love Malachi Fields. I love Will Pauling. I gave a really high evaluation on Elijah Burris. Remember I did that high school film review on him last year? I'm a big believer in this team in this regard up here. I really am. The wide receiver room is going to carry this team. Obviously, Jeremiah Love is him. But they're going to carry this team a lot further than people anticipate. So I like Notre Dame. But if I'm looking at their quarterback individually, and that's what I do when I assess these teams, it's a 6. 6. You got a guy I don't know where he's at. I don't know where he's at. We can change it throughout the weeks, but I can't go there. So, and what will happen is he's a 6. The wide receivers will make him look like he's a 10, but he's not a 10. Because if we had tryouts tomorrow, he couldn't start over anybody with a 7. Listen to what I'm saying. CJ Carr, if he's your starting quarterback, congratulations. He can't start over anybody I gave a 7 rating to. What makes him look good is that there'll be 9 in the box trying to stop your running game, and he'll get one-on-one coverage on the outside, and he's got good wide receivers to beat the coverage. The quarterback isn't great. The receivers and the running backs are great. The coaching staff is great. The quarterback individually isn't great. And when will that come to bite you? When it's 3rd and 7 and you need a conversion and that guy can't complete the pass. That's where it comes to bite you. In those big games. Only happens once, 2, 3 times a year that you're facing an equivalent team. Most of the time, you're a huge favorite. You're blowing everybody out. And then you have that 1 or 2 game. That's why everybody goes, they haven't played anybody yet. They haven't played anybody. And then you go look at what team played anybody. And you only see it's like 1 or 2 teams. 1 or 2 teams. Well, they played these guys. They played these guys. It's just 2 teams. That's what you mean. Haven't played anybody. You haven't played anybody in the top 10. Because they've definitely played people in the top 25 and top 40. Notre Dame, 6 at quarterback. Ohio has a better quarterback. When I evaluate the talent, I'm looking at it, and we learned this last year. If you go out and you see Parker Navarro play, you know the deal. Parker Navarro moves the chains, completes all the passes when you want. That dude's a baller. Former UCF quarterback, right? Parker Navarro is great, and he's back for his final year. We're talking about a team that will have to overcome a coaching change. That's it. But other than that, Parker Navarro is him. Say Bangura coming back, huge deal. Say Bangura back-to-back 1,000-yard rusher. Well, he wasn't he averaged over 1,000 yards for 2 years. He did a 900 and something in 1 year. And then he went to Minnesota, sat the bench. Now he's back. Man, these guys can dominate the MAC. I'm on that Parker Navarro train all day. Parker Navarro is him, giving him a 7. Ohio State, you get an 8. They've never started a game. None of them. I'm going to give them an 8. They're former 5-star guys. You can believe in them, whatever you want to do. I believe in the coaching staff. I've never seen, just like the Kalen DeBoer thing, I've never seen a quarterback show up who hasn't started any games play really bad under these teams and these coaching staffs. So despite having new starters at teams, I'm going to give them a little better pedigree than, and you guys might be like, well, that's hypocritical, Rico. Why didn't you give Notre Dame an 8? It's a little different, man. I'll give you an example. Steve Angeli just left Notre Dame. He was going to be the starter. Or maybe he wasn't. But he just transferred to Syracuse, and I gave him a 7. So I can't give you an 8. But when I look at Ohio State, they are so loaded. I can't ignore it. So pick your poison. Julian saying whoever you want. I'll give him an 8. Okay? Oklahoma, I'm giving you an 8. I'm giving you an 8. Yes, you got your transfer in. Stud. I watched him play at Washington State. I'm on it. I think he's great. Ben Arbuckle there at offensive coordinator. And when you get an offensive coordinator to come in with his quarterback, that's usually success. But you can't just do that, guys. You can't go, I'm a recruiting website. John Mateer is a 10. This guy's a 9 and a 10. I just don't do that. I'm looking at it, and I'm going, how much better is John Mateer than Jackson Arnold? If we had tryouts tomorrow, who's better? John Mateer, Jackson Arnold. How much better are they? I'm telling you, there's not a huge gap in their talent. There isn't. There's familiarity in the scheme, but there's not a huge gap in talent. So John Mateer is fine. I hope he plays well. For Oklahoma fans' sake, I hope he plays well. He's got some receivers to throw to that I believe in. Obviously, Deion Burks is an NFL caliber wide receiver. Just throw it to Deion Burks over and over and over, as long as he's healthy. And then just hand it to Jaden Ott, because Jaden Ott can move the chains. I'm on a Jaden Ott and Deion Burks train a little more so than the quarterback. But I like John Mateer. Ohio State, or Oklahoma State, my God. I think Oklahoma State has a chance to fall off the mother flipping world. I think they have a chance to really become irrelevant. They went 0-9 in conference play. I think they have a chance to do it again. I really do, bro. I really do. These jokers ain't it. And it's the quarterback, just Zane Flores and Haas Henny. Who the fuck are these guys? Man, what am I doing? I gave him a, where are they at? Oklahoma State. I gave him a 5. Why? Am I missing something? I want to give him a 4, bro. Running back room, the guy I'm excited about is Rodney Fields. He's third string. I don't know. I'm not excited about Sessi at all. Yeah, dude, I'm not on Oklahoma State like that. We'll leave it alone. I'm just not on them. Old Dominion, stud. Old Dominion got themselves a what is it? Like a poor man's Johnny Manziel. Colton Joseph is a dual threat white boy who can run his ass off. Colton Joseph is mean. He can do his thing. I like Colton Joseph. Watch the tape. He gets a 6. He gets a 6. He's a bad dude. Ole Miss, don't know what you're doing. Don't know who you're starting. I'm giving you a 7, and I know people are going to be like, Rico Austin's going to be great. Okay, well, then let him be great. Let him be great. Let him prove it. I'm on Ole Miss at 7. Oregon gave you a 7 as well. It's just one of those situations where if you believe in Dante Moore, that's on you, bro. Like, I feel that way about all these dudes. 7 for Oregon State. Malik Murphy is good. He played good at Duke. He's a good quarterback, good size, good arm, and I'm giving all those guys a 7. When I'm reviewing the tape, I win in order. I didn't see a huge talent discrepancy between these 3 teams' quarterbacks. I can look at the other position groups. I can look at and see the supporting cast and think these guys are good. Like, people will get mad at me. Rico, this guy's a 5-star. I don't care, bro. I turn on the tape, and these dudes, they all look the same, bro. Like, if they were all trying out together right now, I think Malik Murphy might beat them all out. I think he might be the starting quarterback at these other schools. I do. Penn State. Drew Allar is coming back to quarterback for 3 years. You guys know how I feel about Drew Allar. I hate Drew Allar as a player. I don't like what I see on tape. Then he started playing well, and he started making plays. Now, the wide receiver room got huge improvements from the transfer portal. They have a star running back room, so it helps him a lot throwing against heavy boxes. I want to tell you he has the ability to be a 9. I'm putting him at 8. But I can understand if people had him at a 10 or a 9. I do. I just can't do it. So maybe it's my own personal bias. I just don't believe in him in the biggest moments. I don't. Not Drew Allar. Eli Holstein at Pitt. I like him, but he's still a 6. Purdue. Who did Purdue go and grab? Oh, Malachi Singleton from Arkansas. Just not a proven star or anything. I've watched this kid play at North Cobb here in Georgia. I've seen him his whole life. I think he's just one of those kids who matured before everybody else. He hit puberty before everyone. Like, he was a sophomore in high school, 6'2", 220. So he's a dual threat kid just running over everybody. I'm like, man, that would be like me playing against high school kids. That'd be like me running over high school kids. I'm 6 foot, 240, and I'm a monster. That's what he was. He was 6'2", 220, a monster, running over high school kids. I'm like, okay. But now everybody caught up. I hope he plays well. Rice, not looking good. Obviously, Rice had some issues last year. I think they only won 4 games, and they kind of lost all their pieces. I don't even know. Oh, I can tell you what I know about Rice. This is the team I was talking about. Scott Abel. Scott Abel, when I study him, is this the Davidson head coach? 1 second. Well, I should take this off screen. I want to check something real quick. Man, my stuff is not loading up. Sorry, MVPs. Don't mean to drag this on. That's why I said watch it at 1.5 speed. There we go. Where did Scott Abel come from? Yeah, Davidson. Okay, so I go watch Davidson. See, when I want to learn about a team or a coach, I got to go find out their scheme and stuff. And Scott Abel is this weird offensive scheme where he needs a dual threat quarterback and he hands the ball off to his slot receiver a lot. And in this particular case, that's going to be Aaron Turner. So Aaron Turner is a former UConn stud. So him coming in, he's going to get the ball more than you think. Like, he's going to get these end arounds and these running plays a lot. Aaron Turner has the potential to score a bunch of touchdowns and get a bunch of yards. So that's pretty awesome. Okay? Now, let's go back down here to quarterback. They're telling you it's Drew DeViler. No, I don't believe that. I don't know what information they have. My assessment, I'm watching the tape, this kid doesn't look like the quarterback to me. A.J. Padgett started some games last year for Rice. Doesn't look like the quarterback for me because he's not a dual threat. The dual threat kid is Chase Jenkins. Now, Chase Jenkins, they did a position switch for him. They made him change to either defensive back or wide receiver somewhere else last year. He was a quarterback, moved over, and now he's coming back to quarterback. This is your guy. This is your guy. Chase Jenkins will be your quarterback, I think. And while I'm saying that, you only get a 3 because he's a dual threat kid. I can't see them throwing the ball. They just hand it off and do some really weird stuff. Go watch some Davidson tape. It's weird. I shouldn't say weird. It's different. It's different. Shout out to them. Rutgers. Ethan Kaliakmanis back again to be the starting quarterback. Get out of here, bro. Sam Houston, you get a 4. Who did you bring in? Oh, no. You're returning your little white dude, right? He got injured last year. Yeah, Hunter Watson. Beast. Dude can run. Don't get mad at him. He's a 4, though. It's kind of just can't throw passes. Can't throw passes. We're wasting Humphrey's ability. Humphrey's a hell of a wide receiver, and we can't get him the ball. But Hunter Watson's a bad dude, man. Just keep giving him the ball in that shotgun and let him do his thing. Little dude's bad, man. Hunter Watson's bad. He'll frustrate you, and we notoriously don't bet on Sam Houston because of it. San Diego State, San Diego State, I don't know why anybody's high on San Diego State at their quarterback position. I tried to get on this bandwagon with this Jaden Denegal guy. He's from Michigan. I tried to get on it. I went and watched all the tape I could, and I just don't see it. I don't even know if he's better than Bert Emanuel. Bert Emanuel's not good. This is a team that started a true freshman last year, and he hit the portal, they say, to be closer to home and all this. I don't even know what they were talking about. And he went to Wisconsin to go sit the bench. So San Diego State, you only win 3 games last year. You lose your starting quarterback. You bring in these guys, and I'm just like, man, I don't see it. I'm scared for this team, and I like Sean Lewis a lot. I went to go watch their spring game, and these motherfuckers are doing tug-of-war. They were doing tic-tac-toe. I'm not joking. They did this competition where they got everybody into groups of 7 or 4 or 5. I don't know. And they were doing Hunger Games. They were doing something to build esprit de corps and team unity. And they weren't implementing scheme, practicing nothing. They weren't doing none of that shit. They were trying to make sure they like each other first. It's wild. All right, so shout out to them and their out-the-box thinking. All you need to know is they finished 10th in the Mountain West, so they need to do something. But the quarterback play looks like I'm not excited about it. Shout out to Christian Washington. This is a young man that transferred in from Coastal Carolina. He's a local kid coming back home. I like Christian Washington. I think he's a good football player, but he's fast. But this other stuff here, Jaden Denegal, I watched his tape, and his tape had, like, his huddle tape, 14,000 views and all this. I'm like, man, why's he got so many views? Oh, because he went to Michigan. Oh, okay. Let me watch this. I don't buy it. Shout out to San Diego State. You got yourself a 2. San Jose State, even worse. You get a 2. You're starting that kid, the backup quarterback, Eckert. That dude can't throw a pass. That might be one of the worst starting quarterbacks in the group of 5, Eckert. I give him a 2. Oh, he sucks. Oh, he sucks, man. I hate saying that about San Jose State. They got a great coaching staff. SMU. Jennings is a 9 for me, and some of you guys might not agree. Go back and watch the tape. Look at the stats. You box score scouts, whoever you are. SMU has a 9 at quarterback. Yeah, a 9. 4 for South Alabama. They had to scramble. They got Zach Pyron transferring in after they lost Gio Lopez. They've got a guy. He's a journeyman. I like their other kid. Who's the other backup? I like the backup quarterback that they're not giving any chance to. Is it? He's got like a Mick name. McKnight? What's his name? We've seen him play before, guys. What's his name? Oh, Bishop Davenport. My bad. We've seen Bishop Davenport play, and they're using Zach Pyron. Okay. Zach Pyron's not bad. Not a bad team, actually. Not a bad team. Not bad receivers. And Major Applewhite's. If you guys remember, Major Applewhite starting quarterback for Texas back in the day. Very, very smart guy. South Carolina, I'm giving you an 8. And why can't I remember his name? I said, I'll remember when I get here. Oh, Sellers. What is wrong with me, bro? Lenora Sellers. Lenora Sellers is him. He is. I'm giving him an 8. I can't go 9 or 10. He just doesn't make those plays yet. Not sure if Faison's even approved for his extra year of eligibility. They got other good players. This is a good team. It's a good team. They're trying to figure it out. They're evaluating talent correctly. They're finding studs. It's a good team. I like Lenora Sellers. I like him. I don't know how they improve on last year's team, but Lenora Sellers is him. South Florida. Is Brown still there? Is that who it is? What I like about South Florida is Alex Golish is him. Yeah. Byron Brown's still here. So Byron Brown, Complete stud of a quarterback. Like him a lot. Bryce Archie, did I give him a 7? Yeah, I gave him a 7. That's a really high score for a group of 5 quarterback. Bryce Archie, transfer. I've known him for years out of McEachern. Is it McEachern? Georgia? Yep. Yeah, Powder Springs, transfer from Coastal Carolina. Good quarterback room. Good thing to have, Good problem to have. Solid quarterbacks. Slow running back I don't believe in, but Singleton's good. Jaden Alexis fast as hell, transfer from Texas. I once did a video on him 2 years ago. I didn't know he was still in college football. Wow. Yeah, they got a team, man. They got a team. South Florida got a team. They might be sneaky good. Give them a 7. Southern Miss, you get a 7. Braxton is coming in from Marshall. The whole team came over. Southern Miss about to flip the world up in this joint. Trust. Stanford, I love my boy Brown. Now, I talked about this, Elijah Brown, starting quarterback from Mater Dei for 4 years. He started as a freshman at the number 1 team in America. The problem is Stanford just fired their coach, right? So what are they doing? Frank Wright's the interim coach. Maybe he can teach them all they can. All the former Mater Dei wide receivers transferring in and doing their best. We got Jordan over here, Onavo, leaving Colorado. Love the kid. Stud, hard worker. CJ Williams coming in. Got it. Tiger's gone. He hit the transfer portal, went to BYU. Yeah. But this right here, Elijah Brown, my guy. My guy. Former 4-star. I told you he was the best quarterback coming out of high school 2 years ago. I like Elijah Brown a lot. Team sucks. Stanford's in trouble. And it's just because they can't get transfers approved through admissions, so it is what it is. Syracuse, you went and got Angeli. He'll be your starter. Gave him a 7. TCU, Josh Hoover, an 8. That's very good. I like a multiple-year starter. Temple, I'm giving you a 4. If you look online, they got the roster wrong, but I know that there's a transfer coming in. Let me see here. Where's Temple? They just have it wrong, okay? Yeah, they don't have all the guys. And I know that they found their starting quarterback. So I've been on this for a little while here. Jay Ducker's good, though. They're improving. I like Casey Keller as a head coach. Casey Keller, former Sam Houston head coach, former FCS great coach. Casey Keller's going to rebuild this team. Yeah, Temple's going to be different. Temple's going to be improved. And they're going to keep getting better, much better than you think. I promise you. Temple's going to, don't get used to Temple being a doormat. It's not going to happen. Temple's going to put up a fight every week and look the part. So give me Temple at 4, a little higher than some of the other scrubs. Tennessee, I'm giving you a 6. I'm giving you a 6, and what I feel at Tennessee is you have a quarterback that's an all-conference group of 6 group of 5 quarterback. That's what Joey Aguilar is. I watched Joey Aguilar for a long time. Statistically, very good quarterback. I watched him for a long time at App State. I've talked about MVPs. We live stream every single game. There are limitations to his greatness, and putting him out here with good wide receivers. I really like Josh Heupel as a coach, and I hope he can get the most out of him. But I'm going to sit at a 6 right now in the preseason, especially for preseason predictions. I'm going to leave it at a 6 for now. Okay. I also did something kind of projecting here, and people might not agree with this, but I'm giving them a 10 at tight end, and I just want to tell you that I watched the tape and I was utterly impressed with Miles. I'm serious. So I'm giving them a 10, and no one on the internet's going to tell you that. Okay. Texas quarterback. I'm giving him a 9. I watched it. Manning plays well, even when he filled in for injuries and all this. He plays well. I think Texas is reloading, y'all. I think Texas is reloading. I know they lost a lot of talent to the draft. They're not falling off like that. Texas at 9. A&M giving you a 7. Is it Marcel Reed? Is that who it is? Yeah, I give him a 7. Texas State, a 4. Who is it? Oh, no, it's not Giovanni McCoy. It's Nate Yarnell. So Giovanni McCoy is who just transferred to Temple. So our lads is wrong. Nate Yarnell, stud. Coming back home to Texas. I told you guys this would happen 2 years ago when he was at Pitt. I told you he's a Texas kid and he's going to transfer back home. Holden Griner not being able to beat him out. And Brad Jackson's a stud. Like this quarterback room's loaded. And Giovanni McCoy just went up to Temple to play for Casey Keller. So I really like stud Chris Don, fast little receiver. Tyron Smith, slot receiver from hell. Shamar Kirk, Speed Demon, did a Hidden Gems video on him when he went to Miami. Bo Sparks, same thing, bad little white boy. Like this whole team is, a mother flipping problem. G.J. Kinney's got a problem out here. I promise you he's got a problem. Burgess is here. Greg Burrell, I thought he hit the portal and left. They're not updating this roster. Jalen Jenkins, character concerns. It is what it is. But problem. Texas State. Gave him a 4. It's Nate Yarnell. Would I give Nate Yarnell a 4? Yeah, I would. Texas Tech, you did your best to try to improve, but you still have Morton here. I'm at 7 on the quarterback. Toledo, I don't like him. And look, man, you have to just assess talent and results, and I've never been a Tucker Gleason guy. But at the end of the day, Tucker Gleason's playing good, and he's the team's second leading rusher as well. So he's just good. He's fine. So Toledo has a chance to go out there and do some things. Obviously, they're going to get together. Well, we'll talk about it more in depth in the next episode. Kenji Christian coming in from North Carolina A&T, but he was a really Virginia Tech kid. Shout out to Alabama. He played down there in high school. This is stud running back. So to see him come in, if Chip's injured, if he's healthy, former Ohio State linebacker. These guys can play ball, man. So this team is going to put some pieces together, but that Tucker Gleason kid is a leader. He's good. And Jason Kendall's a great coach. So I'm going to go ahead and give him a 6. All-conference caliber, for sure. For the record, he's not better than DeQuan Finn. They were once on the same team. DeQuan Finn started over him. So we already know Miami, Ohio has a better quarterback right off rip. You understand? So that's how that goes. I should probably give out fractions. I should probably give out decimals. Troy at quarterback. Shout out to Evan Kramer. He might get mad at this. I'm giving them a 4. I don't think they have an all-conference quarterback at all. If everybody stays healthy, we'll see how it goes. Former West Virginia quarterback Goose Crowder is the starter. And obviously Tucker Kilcrease had to fill in and play last year, and he played a little bit. But this is where we're at. This is where we're at. They have some running backs coming in the transfer portal too. So they don't have these things up to date. It is what it is. Next is Tulane. I like Tulane. They did not expect to have to start Caden Samanza, and that's who they're starting. So Tulane has a really good team, transfer-wise, or just in general. Tulane has a good team, good coaching staff. I think Tulane's loaded. But quarterback, they had some issues about a stolen car and some plates, and I bought a striker and all this stuff. I don't want to hear any excuses. They got themselves a problem. Caden Samanza is going to solve it. He's a starting quarterback, former Ball State starter. Caden Samanza is good. He's good. Don't blame Ball State's losses on Caden Samanza. Tulsa, Kirk Francis is their starting quarterback. Kirk Francis is not good. I like Kirk Francis. The thought of him is better than what he actually is on the field. Texas kid. But their running back room is loaded. They got a change in coach. Maybe it can spark and get different production out of them. But that's how I feel about them. They did lose some receivers. UAB. Who is UAB starting at quarterback this year? Shout out to Trenton Dilfer. Jalen Kitna. Kitna's not a run threat. He can throw. Former Florida playground watcher. He's fine. He's a good quarterback. He's got arm talent that you wouldn't normally have at UAB, but I don't necessarily know if this is where you want to be. Jacob Zeno should have been here, and if Jacob Zeno was still at UAB, he'd still be the starter. So you got yourself a 4. UCF, terrible. I won't even believe in UCF for a second. You can't convince me UCF's going to be good. They might be one of the worst Power 4 teams in America. I don't know. I'm looking for Central. My bad. I don't know how anybody else can say otherwise. Their starting quarterback is Taven Jackson, and he's competing with Cam Fancher. So let me explain these two guys. They're kind of the same. And then you have Delvey. Look at this whole quarterback room. So let's go. Taven Jackson won some state titles in Indiana, ends up going to Tennessee as a 4-star quarterback. Cool. Finds out he can't see the field, transfers back to Indiana. He's a hometown kid. He's coming home. He's going to be the starter. No, he's not. Coaching staff gets fired. Kurt Zanetti brings in the juice, goes and gets a quarterback from the MAC to start over this kid. So now he's a backup quarterback. Nothing to really talk about. So now he transfers to Central Florida. I don't think he can play anywhere in the Power 4. And here he is. He's starting here. Cam Fancher used to be at Marshall, dual threat kid. Goes down to FAU. Looks like he's playing like a chicken with his head cut off. He's running around. There's no structure to him whatsoever. Can't believe in him. Okay. One of the worst stories of all time, Ja'Cory Brown. Love Ja'Cory Brown. Saw him very first time I saw Ja'Cory Brown, state title game, sophomore year against Marietta. Marietta had an all-time great team and blew them the hell out. But he was a sophomore starting quarterback, 6'4", about 210 at the time. And I go, wow, that kid's a future. And he ends up playing great his whole high school career. Goes to Miami. Never going to see the field in Miami. You're behind a bunch of NFL guys, a bunch of transfers, a bunch of other guys. So you finally transfer to UCF. It's no different. If you can't see the field in Miami, you can't see the field at UCF. So you're third string in Miami, now you're third string at UCF. Why? Why wouldn't you transfer to Georgia State or Georgia Southern or North Alabama or anywhere, bro? Sit in the bench. Davy Belfort coming in. Congratulations. You came back home. I don't believe in you like that. I'll fight your dad, bro. I'll fight your dad, okay? So they're Central Florida. Don't think that they got a bunch of mid quarterbacks, and that'll never help you win games. Shout out to Scott Frost, though. Good coach. Knows what he's doing. I hope he does well with that. UCLA, you got yourself a quarterback from Tennessee. I'm giving you a 7, kind of all in that range. Shout out to you. Shout out to Nico. UConn at 5. If they finally understood, shout out to Connecticut, have they finally understood that Nick Evers can't play football? Joe Fagnano should be the starting quarterback for UConn, and if he's not, it's a crime. Let's go do this. UConn, look at that. I've searched this so many times. UConn football stats. I've told you guys Nick Evers can't play football. Why does Nick Evers have 180 pass attempts? Why have they played the same amount of football? Why? When one guy is completing 58% of his passes compared to 53, one guy's throwing it for 7.9 on average, 20 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. Why are these guys equivalent? Nick Evers, dual threat. He's been sacked 9 times. Fagnano's only 5. Fagnano is so much better than Nick Evers in every way, shape, or form. Why are we playing them equivalent amount of time? Because Nick Evers came over from Wisconsin. He's an Oklahoma transfer. He's a former 4-star. Bro, I don't give a shit. Fagnano is your quarterback. Play that man. He's great. These stats aren't even... What is this? This DEI shit. This equality nonsense. Play the best players, or you'll lose games. Shout out to UConn. It's a 5. If Fagnano's playing, it could be a 6. But you keep playing that Nick Evers kid, and we're going to lose games. ULM, it's a 1. I can't get down with ULM right now. No shade to ULM. Their coaches overachieved. Had a great running back last year. But when I watch ULM, they got under Louisiana Monroe. Am I tripping on the alphabet? Louisiana Monroe. Warhawks? When I watch them, Hunter Herring is the guy I would be interested in as a starting quarterback, but not really. Aiden Armenta? Oh, my God. Go watch the tape on that, dude. Fucking 1. 1. UMass, you get a 4? Rico, you're talking crazy. UMass? Yep, UMass gets a 4 at quarterback. UMass might be changing some things. Grant Jordan can play some football, man. Grant Jordan, I turn on the tape. That dude looks tough. That's what I'm going to say. Grant Jordan looks tough. This guy, listen to me, playing high school ball in Louisiana. Then he goes, and he played well. Then he goes to Yale for 4 years. And if you've been watching his stats last year, this guy's playing, bro. He's nice. So now he's at UMass. I think he's a baller. I like him. I gave him a 4. And that's a really high rating for a UMass quarterback from me. UNLV, you get a 6. You guys know I don't like the UNLV. I guess, it's not that I don't like who they are. It's just... They're telling me Colin Drea's not starting over Alex Orji. Dan Mullen. What are we doing, Dan Mullen? What are we doing, bro? Last chance UNLV. I'm giving you a 6, and it was for Colin Drea. Not Alex Orji. Insane. USC, you get a 7. Jaden Maeva. I hope he plays well. He's got some weapons. Utah, Devin Dampier. Can't throw, but can run. Can't throw. They tell me he's got a nice touch on his deep ball. Watched a lot of tape. Devin Dampier can't throw, but he can run his ass off. Shout out to Utah. You get a 7. Utah State, 6. I like Utah State. If I'm giving you a 6 in the group of 5, you're doing things right. Remember that, okay? Utah State's quarterback room has been loaded for a couple years now. They've all been transferring out, and they get left. But the coolest thing is that they can get leftovers from Utah. And they can get players from BYU and Utah that don't want to be there, right? So when you start looking at guys like Jacob Conover, he transferred in from BYU 2-3 years ago. Still hasn't seen the field. Transferred in from Arizona State, my bad. But Bryson Barnes, Utah transfer, played well. Stud. Like him. And I think he can do this damn thing. So I'm with him. I'm with it all day. Shout out to them. Giving them a 6. UTEP, you get a 3. UTEP's had to settle for this kid, Skyler. And I like Skyler. I do. He played well. He played okay. I shouldn't say well. He played okay. But you guys, everybody, all the kids want to talk about is Malachi Nelson transferred in. Malachi Nelson, former 5-star, former USC, Boise State. I don't give a shit about that, man. I don't look at those stars. I sit down and watch the tape. Like, let me tell you guys. You see this kid right here, Hassan Wilson? Fucking stud. Stud out of South Carolina. Played at Charlotte. Rushed for like almost 300 yards in a game. While at Charlotte. Go look. It wasn't last year. It was the year before. And he hits the transfer portal, and he's third string, supposedly, at UTEP. They just lost their 2 leading rushers to the transfer portal. I'm on this kid right here. Like, I think Hassan Wilson's good. So, like, I watch players. I'll give credit where credit's due. I'll never let a recruiting website tell me who's good. I got to watch the tape. The people running those websites are people like me. They're normal-ass people. Put their pants on one leg at a time like everybody else. I like where I'm at. Skyler Locklear is a decent quarterback. Not good. Not great. Decent. So he gets a 3. UTSA gets a 7. One of the very best group of 5 quarterbacks out there. You guys know the deal. McCown's going to be a monster. Owen McCown, you got to believe in him. Believe in UTSA right now. Jeff Traylor is ready to go out on top. He's ready to move out, go out on top, and he's got the quarterback to do it. Owen McCown is a beast of a quarterback, especially in the group of 5. That's what you get there. Vanderbilt, 8. You guys know. I'm on the Diego Pavia train, but he's not a 9 or a 10. He's definitely an 8. He's a winner. He's got Eli to throw to. Stowers, the tight end. He can do his thing. But I like Diego Pavia a lot. Virginia. You guys see the ratings all the way across on Virginia. I have already evaluated Virginia as a team. What I have to do next is evaluate everybody else to find out how many games Virginia's going to win. I need you guys to understand that I'm really high on Virginia. Do what you want with that. I don't know if you're ready to jump on the overs bet just yet, but personally, Virginia, I'm on the over. And I'm trying to figure out if it's accurate or where we're at with it, okay? I'm trying to get there, and I'm still evaluating rosters and doing numbers crunching and stuff like that. But you guys see it. I've broken it all the way down, all the way across. Virginia has 2 quarterbacks that just transferred in. Chandler Morris coming over from North Texas, and who was the other kid? The other kid, Island, what's his name? I apologize on the name. Daniel Kaelin, I did not expect him, and I even wrote this. It was not on my bingo card that he would compete with Chandler Morris, but he plays really well. Is he from Houston? No, he's from Nebraska. My bad. He plays really well. So I'm watching the tape, and I'm like, yo, this kid plays really good. And now it's one of these situations where I don't know who's going to start. I see Chandler Morris here in the starting position. I'm just telling you, I don't know. I also know that they have way more transfers than this. They don't have everything up. Harrison Whaley's coming in. I believe Jamari Taylor's the starter. I know Xavier Brown's there, but I believe Jamari Taylor might get the start here. I just like this team a lot. Monroe Mills is injured for the year. He shouldn't be right here. He's not going to play. Okay? I go on and on about this team. I really studied them. You know, I'm going to study pretty hard if I'm going to go put my stamp of approval on a team. That's where I'm at. All right? Just giving you guys a heads up on that. Virginia Tech, we know the deal. We watched them play enough. Kyron Drones, good dual threat quarterback. Can't really throw. You have good receivers, Ali Jennings and all these guys, DeQuan Felton, and just a bunch of guys. And now you got, I hope, Jalen Lane just went to the NFL. I hope they find answers. But you just lost your starter running back, Bishal Tootin. I don't know how Kyron Drones is going to be that effective, but gave him a 7. Very respectable rating. Wake Forest, you get a 5. No. Wake Forest is doing their best. Coaching change, finding the answers they can. Jake Dickert, former Washington State head coach, knows what he's doing, knows how to get the most out of his players. But if you're telling me you're going to play Robbie Ashford over Deshaun Purdy, I don't know what to tell you. Deshaun Purdy looks like a hell of a lot better quarterback than Robbie Ashford, but that's your business. They do have a 1,000-yard rusher, so it doesn't really matter. They lost some good receivers. They get hit by the transfer portal hard, deep in the gut. Okay, I don't think very highly of Wake Forest as far as results go. Not this year, not from what I'm seeing. So I'm at Wake Forest with a 5 at the quarterback position. But you got a 1,000-yard rusher, you just keep handing it off to them. You got a blue nose team, go figure it out. Blue nose, blue collar team. Washington, sneaky good Washington, and we'll see what happens. Okay, don't get mad at me. I didn't think very highly of Washington last year, and they proved me. I mean, Jetfish put me in my place. That's the reality of the situation. I was wrong. I'm allowed to miss. I missed on Washington, fucking NC State, Arizona. We go down the list of who I missed on. I missed on at least 10 schools. At least. There's 130 of them. I missed on 10. For sure. But Damon Williams played out of his mind. I think he's pretty good. And I think he has a really good supporting cast and some solid players to utilize. And I like this. Okay, so I like where they're at. And Damon Williams looks like a solid quarterback. So I'm giving him an 8. And that might sound crazy, but I really believe in Jed Fish and how he uses his quarterbacks. Washington State, you get a 7. Zevi is finally getting to start. Now, Zevi Eckes, Brantley transfer from 2 years ago. He lost out the quarterback battle, right? Okay, cool. I'm talking about last year. So he didn't play last year. I don't care. Zevi Eckes is a very good football player. Very good football player. And people are going to find out the hard way. Johnny Shepard just transferred in. He'll probably be the backup. He just transferred in from Rutgers, I think. He's not a bad player either. But let me tell you, that Zevi Eckes can play his ass off. So I gave Zevi a 7. He's a good player. Western Virginia, good luck. West Virginia, good luck. You're having to replace a stud quarterback. And I don't think you found the right answer. You're just going with Nico and saying this is what we're rocking with. They tried to find other answers. These aren't the answers to get. They needed to get something else. But Jaheim White's good. Obviously, everybody's excited for Rich Rodriguez. We'll see what happens there. Western Kentucky, having to replace your all-conference quarterback. I think they got a chance, man. I don't like Western Kentucky right now. Excuse me, I have to always delete that ad. But I haven't evaluated the whole team. But this Maverick McIver dude, where'd he go? I think Texas Abilene Christian, something like that, right? That's where he was at as an FCS quarterback. I turn on the tape. That dude's a gunslinger, bro. That dude's a beast. Now, he's tried to make it in the Power 4 before. It didn't work out. But, man, he's a beast of a guy, and he's experienced. This might work out for them. They've been doing this a lot. Tyson Helton going down to Texas and finding an FCS quarterback, putting him in his system, and they go off on the numbers. So the chances of McIver having a lot of numbers is there, and that's why I gave him an all-conference rating. Yeah, the production is there. Western Michigan. I don't know, like, when I finally, the coolest thing about this, let me explain this to you guys. When I do these evaluations, I do not know where they're going to land in the pecking order of their conference. You get what I'm saying? Like, I'm just looking at players, and then I get the totals, and then I pull them out of the chart, and I put them into their conference. I sort them by conference. And then I can look at the teams and go, oh, this team is better than this team. Oh, this team. But I do not sit there and do it by conference together. They're so far apart alphabetically that I don't remember what I gave another team. So when I look at this team, for example, I look at them and I go, okay, who are these guys? And I have to just sit down and look at them. And you guys know I love Jalen Buckley. You guys, Cole Cabana, transfer from Michigan, stud of a kid, right? But when I sat here and I go, man, who is Brock Lowry? And I go back and watch the tape from last year. I had to literally, last night, I stood up till 3 a.m. watching the tape. I went back and I watched the tape and I went, kind of crafty. Dual threat kid, tough, can run around. And he can complete some passes. Now, you're throwing to Christian Leary, you're going to be pretty damn good. Christian Leary, this is a Power 5 kid right here, right? Christian Leary, complete stud. Former Alabama kid. Former Georgia Tech. What's he doing up here? He should be dominating the MAC. So you're throwing to Christian Leary. Brock Lowry might look all right, man. Might look all right. Lance Taylor is a coach. So when I sit down and I go and evaluate, I don't know how good Western Michigan's going to be in the MAC. But I wouldn't be surprised with this type of attention on the offensive line, the playmakers they have here. Like when I start looking at them, I start going, hey, man, this team got a little something. This team went 5-3 in conference last year. They feel like the Bowling Green this year. They feel like the third best team in the MAC. Again, they went 5th in the MAC. They feel like the third best team in the MAC. I'm not sure. We're going to find out. When I do all the ratings, we're going to find out where they end up. We'll see. I'm just telling you, preemptively, I was like, hey, they look all right. So I went ahead and gave the kid a 4. And you've never seen him throw a pass. I have. I went back and watched him. Wisconsin, you get a 7. Billy Edwards coming in from Maryland. Like him, you get a 7. And then lastly, Wyoming, you get a 3. Wyoming had the worst quarterback play last year in America, if I remember correctly. I didn't check the stats, but pretty much. Caden Anderson was on the team. He was backing up the worst quarterbacks in America. I don't know what's going on here. I'm giving Wyoming a 3, and that's because when I watch Caden Anderson, he looks okay. But these guys are going to be irrelevant when it comes to win-loss totals and how we're trying to get things done. I don't think we're ever going to bet on a Wyoming game. I say that, and we probably will. I don't like my assessment on Wyoming is going to be rough. I don't know a lot of these players from they're not returning starters. They lost the guys I know on the team, so it's going to be like a shot in the dark almost. I'm not even joking. I'm giving you a heads up now. True story. All right, so there's the quarterbacks. I'll jump to the chat real quick and see if you guys have any questions. I didn't see any here. I don't know if anybody says. Let me go. I don't know what anybody was talking about during the show. MVPs, you can stop the show. I'm going to go back to the start of this chat and answer any questions if they were here. Let's see. I'll keep scrolling back to all the. I'll go through all the chat. I don't mind. Let's do this. It doesn't matter. I want to answer all your questions. Let's see what these people said. Trying to go 11 Bravo. You scored a 575 on your ACT. That's fine. Do not go 11 Bravo. I don't acknowledge chat while I'm doing my show. How do I get my athletes film to you to review? I've just discovered your page. Go watch any high school film review. It's at the bottom of the page. Charlotte shirt. Opinion on Deshaun Purdy. Very good football player. Bought the shirt because of a hurricane and on clearance. I agree. Kenny Dillingham really proved himself. He really gets through the players. Yep. DJ Lagway, already talked about him. You have to pay him. Sam Pittman should have been gone 3 years ago. Very true. I think Arnold has so much to prove. I do too. He'll read your comment. Just give him time. Very true, Todd. Shout out to Todd. Going to be interesting to see how Boise State adjust. They don't need to adjust. They're going to run the same scheme with good running backs. What do you think of Syracuse quarterback room? Give them a 7. Ohio State wins it all. We'll find out. I don't know how the other teams are doing. What you give me? I don't know you, Mike. Ole Miss may have the deepest quarterback room. Yeah, you don't want a deep quarterback room. You only need a starting quarterback. People think you need a deep quarterback room. The fuck does that mean? You want the starting quarterback to be great. Doesn't matter how deep your quarterback room is. You shouldn't be playing backup quarterbacks. There's 2 position groups you don't rotate anybody, and that's quarterback. Okay, quarterback doesn't rotate anybody. The other one should be kicker. You know, we got a really deep kicker room. Motherfucker, you need it. Oh my goodness, nice crib. I got a nice crib. Thank you so much. How do you feel about Castellanos? I already talked about it. It's trash. Unc, how do you feel about the Bears draft? I'm not going to talk about that. Bryce Underwood, he's going to go crazy. Oh my goodness. Sell his quarterback in South Carolina. Thank you so much. We need you as a coach, Rico. I'm trying, man. I'm the man. Josh Hoover from TCU got an 8. That's love. Howdy, USC, bald. Is there a way to go back and watch this from the start? Oh, yes, Ryan Beaver. It's going to be posted on Patreon and YouTube for my MVP. So you got to be a member of the channel. It costs $25 a month. Figure that out. You don't see Notre Dame. I talked about Notre Dame already. Florida top 3. Okay. All right, I already answered all you guys' questions. MVPs, thank you so much for watching the show, and appreciate the breakdown. Shout out to you, Black Ninja. Thank you for being here. Let me see the other questions here. I heard you say LSU number 10 at wide receiver and quarterback. That is correct, Mark Lee. I've seen LSU revamp their entire wide receiver room. You think Nuss can be in the Heisman? You know, I'm going to have that conversation offline with you MVPs about the Heisman. I believe Nuss can be there as long as they win enough games. I would probably lean more towards Cade Klubnik if I was a betting man. But you just have to look at who are going to be the top teams and then who's their starting quarterback for the most part. So that, and you know, unless there's a freak show. I did come across a kid that's going to play both ways, but he's going to play both ways at Northern Illinois, and he's going to play tight end and defensive end or something like that. Pierce Opong. But I took notes on that. But anything else, yeah. We'll talk about Heisman's in a little bit. I'm still focusing on doing all the ratings and ranking all the players. But anybody I gave a 10 to at quarterback is probably going to be one of your Heisman front runners, if you will. And then we'll understand who we bet on for the playoffs and do a nice little parlay for that to flip a unit. Remember, I put 10 units on last year I put 10 units on a parlay, if you will, of playoff teams, and it hit fucking easy. It was like Oregon, Ohio State, Texas. I think that's what it was. And it just, I made, I do what I do. So anyways, your friends don't know, but Rico knows. Peace, y'all.